What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Screening Room podcast. I apologize for the little delay we had in this episode. We were just very busy with all things Odyssey. If you didn't check out our review on the Odyssey, came out a few days ago, definitely go check that out. But we are back now with this week's episode. We're going to be talking all things Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. I'm joined as always by my co-host Mike.
Hello, everyone.
And yeah, I know for me, this is one of my top 10 all time favorite movies. I've seen it plenty of times, including once in 70 millimeter IMAX. But what's going to be interesting about the conversation here is that Mike only just now watched it for the first time, like a few hours ago. So it's going to be an interesting kind of conversation, I think. So, with that all said, you want to kick it off with your initial thoughts on the film?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was my first viewing of this, and I gotta say, I'm really glad I finally sat down and watched this. For me, the best thing about this movie is gonna have to be the cinematography. The space stuff in particular, with the black hole sequence, really stood out to me. I thought that was extremely well done. All of the alien worlds that they visited throughout, particularly Matt Damon's planet, were extremely unique and interesting, while also kind of having like a uncanny valley effect to certain areas on Earth. Overall, I thought the cast was great too. Matthew McConaughey gave an amazing performance, and not only that, but I like the supporting cast as well with Anne Hathaway and Matt Damon both doing really well. And I actually like John Lithgow too at the very beginning. He was a very good mentor figure towards the start. But like I said, overall, this was a very good movie to watch.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now. I don't remember if did McConaughey get an Oscar for this? I'm trying to look it up right now. I don't think so. I'm looking it up right now. It looks like it won for best visual effects, best original score, best production design, best sound editing, and best sound mixing. It's interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, like you were saying, McConaughey did do, I mean, he was like the standout performance in this
Oh
movie. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, for me, the scene that really got me was the scene where he had to sit back and watch all the recordings of his kids grow up.
yeah.
That was a really tough watch, and it was just, I think, one of the most emotional scenes in the movie. It was that and the reunited scene where he finally met up with Murph and where she was well into her 90s.
Well, yeah, and the scene where he's in the like weird four-dimensional space, like trying to get her
Yes.
attention.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the Tesseract. Yeah,
yeah, that was
that was
really
good
well
too.
done. Yeah, and I mean the
Yeah.
supporting actors did good too. I mean, Anne Hathaway was great. Like you said, John Lithgow, he was had a small part. He was good. Timothy Chalamet, that
Yeah.
was like one of his
Yes, I was
earliest movies.
surprised to see Timothy Chalamet in this too.
Yeah,
That was a welcome surprise.
yeah, like it was like pre. This is pre even like calling by your name, Timothy Chalamet. Like this is like
Yeah,
really like one of his
yeah.
first
It's
movies.
Yeah, Timmy's first big movie.
Yeah, I'd love to see him collab with Nolan again. But although I will say
Yeah,
my
that'd be
dream
nice.
my dream Nolan project would be a Tom Cruise collab.
Oh
That'd be
my goodness, that'd be crazy.
that'd be ridiculous. But anyway,
Um,
yeah, all
yeah.
around performances really great. As for your cinematography comment, I agree. It was great. Like I said, I got to see this in 70 millimeter IMAX for the 10-year anniversary in December of 2024. That was in the at the New York City Lincoln Square 70 mil theater. That was just a levitating experience. I want to say this movie was Nolan's first time collaborating with Hoyte van Hoytema, the cinematographer, who would go on to do the rest of Nolan's movies, including Odyssey. Um, so yeah, really, definitely really good visual movie. Also, the audio is just,
Yes.
I mean, the score obviously Hans Zimmer is great, but even just like the sound mixing is just really well
Hmm.
done. Um, But I have to say, like, in terms of the score, like, I have a playlist on Spotify with like my favorite like film scores on it, and I probably have more Interstellar. Well, I don't know about more Interstellar than any other movie, but definitely a lot of Interstellar on there, like cornfield chase, the docking
Yeah.
scene. Those are great. I think cornfield chase is
I
probably
liked
the
the
best one.
Yeah. Although I really like the one where they're on the water planet with the ticking noise, and I
Yeah,
like how that was also symbolic too for like every tick's a day on Earth. So it
right,
gives it that nice audio metaphor that they really got to put pedal to the metal while they're there, and it adds an extra layer of suspense to the scene.
right. And obviously, everything goes sideways on the water planet because
Oh my God, yeah,
like
because time is just different over there.
right. Well, and they took longer than they were supposed to because you have to further the
Yeah,
plot. But,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, no, that was oh my god. Like again, just the cinematography in that is great. Like when the wave is like approaching and it's like engulfing the whole screen. Like it's just oh my
yeah.
god, it's insane. Seeing
It's
that in
wild.
IMAX is great. I just watched the 4K Blu-ray version, so I got like the full 16 by 9 like IMAX scene, and yeah, it's just it looks so good. It's it's a beautiful movie. I'm trying to think what other bullets did we like miss out on, like in terms of just fundamental filmmaking. I mean, it
Yeah,
does stray a little bit from Nolan's like what do you call it? Like commitment to doing everything practically. Like obviously he did as much practically
yeah.
as possible, but like the black hole scene I think was like the biggest like whatchamacallit.
Difference from his usual catalog.
Right, because that
Um,
scene was done in CG. I forget exactly how long that took to render, but I remember reading that it took like I don't know, months I think even to render that.
yeah,
But but like everything else was done practically as much as possible. Like even the Tesseract scene, like they built that
yeah.
and they had Matthew McConaughey like suspended by wires in there. Like so
And speaking of,
oh
sorry, go
no,
on.
go on. No.
I was gonna say, just speaking of the practicality, I was really impressed with how they did the TARS robot. I thought that was really fun to see, um, done practically, and that is such a unique design for a space robot. Usually, we get something more bipedal or like on wheels, like R2D2, but this was more like, and the closest thing I can think of is like a giant walking fridge, which is something that really stands out in comparison, but they make use of him throughout the movie. Like it's not like a useless space adventure pal. Like he's actually like a vital member of the crew. And I thought that was really cool to see done practically rather than just CGI, which would have been probably a little bit easier to do, but to take the time to go make a physical like character like that, I thought that was really impressive.
Fun fact, I don't remember the puppeteer's name for Tars, but the guy who did the puppeteering for Tars also did the puppeteering for the animatronic
Cyclops,
Cyclops.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I don't know, I think that's cool. Like one thing you'll notice if you watch a lot of Nolan's movies is that like both in front of and behind the camera, he works with like a lot of the same people. Um
yeah,
like he kind of has his team and clearly clearly it's working. It's one of
hmm,
those if it ain't broke don't fix it the kind of things. So it's just kind of funny to see
yeah,
him work again with like this guy he worked with 12 years ago for Tars just to do the Cyclops.
yeah,
um yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. It's cool how it's like designed differently, but also I like the personality of Tars. He like adds
yes,
some humor and otherwise like a very
like dark movie
dark.
when you think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like they even make a point of getting that like that's your first real like introduction to Tars. Like once you're
yeah,
leaving Earth, like they immediately go into the humor. What was it? The humor like percentage, like his humor settings or
yeah,
whatever. Um,
yeah,
to kind of like explain that. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I think he's just really well done.
Yeah. For me, it kind of sounds like I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but Kit from Knight Rider, the talking car.
Oh,
So I thought
I
that was
haven't
kind of
seen
another
it, but I
funny
know
Easter
of
egg.
it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. So I just thought that was a nice little fun thing to include too. Obviously, it's another callback to Hal from 2001,
Oh
but
yeah.
I think that was gives it gives it a little bit of a personality that differentiates it from all these other great sci-fi robots.
Yeah, except Tars isn't like a serial killer robot like Hal is.
Yeah,
Hal, my God, Hal's
Hal is a
menace.
mess. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. But
Who? Yeah.
I mean, you can clearly see like otherwise though. This was definitely like deeply inspired by 2001. Like a lot of nods.
Oh, without a doubt.
Um,
And I'll actually get into that in my trivia too, that they had deliberately designed some of the plot around 2001.
yeah. Well, did you by any chance in your trivia get anything about Spielberg?
I did not actually.
Okay, so in that case, I'll elaborate. I didn't want to steal one of your bullet points in case you did, but yeah. So originally, I'm just going off memory here, so I might get a few things wrong. But my understanding is, Spielberg was originally attached to direct this movie, but
Yeah.
then I forget. He either like backed out or I don't know. Somehow he got unattached to the project, and then
Hmm.
Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother, got his hands on the script, and like Jonathan and Chris both like kind of rewrote the script, and then Nolan directed it. So it's definitely like the product that we have now is like definitely different from what Spielberg would have made, and Spielberg has gone on record multiple times saying that the movie we did get is like way better than anything he would have done with the project. So I think it's probably like for the best that it went the way it did, but I don't know, it's just kind of interesting the like the history between those two, you know, like in my opinion the two greatest directors of all time kind of had their hands in it, cuz even if Spielberg didn't like wasn't involved in the final version of the script, obviously didn't direct it, like there is still fundamentally going to be some Spielberg injected in it because it's still based on his original screenplay. So it's just kind of interesting how, in a way, it's like Chris and Spielberg kind of collaborating a bit. I don't know. I just think that's kind of
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah. Kind
But
of like in the third act
yeah,
where Spielberg wrote the outline and then Christopher Nolan pieced it together.
yeah. I don't know. I just think, and
Yeah.
also like I like the spaceship design actually. I don't think we talked about that. I
That was
like
cool too. It was like I like that it was like sleek and looked like a stealth bomber. That was
right.
something I thought was really cool to see.
Well, because it's got to be grounded. It's like, you know what it looks like? Because I'm just staring at I'm staring at like the video feed right now that like you the
Mhm.
guys watching are going to be looking at. It kind of looks like a slimmed down version of the Bat from Dark Knight Rises.
Oh my god.
I mean, am I wrong? It kind of does.
You're not wrong, but
Like the Bat is like more bulky, whereas this is like
yeah.
the Lamborghini of the
Yeah.
Bat.
This is
That
like if the bat looked really cool.
This is if the bat looked. This is if the bat was capable of interstellar travel. The bat's only
Yeah.
meant for taking nukes out of Gotham and disposing of them.
Yeah. And that's all it does throughout the whole movie.
My God.
Man. But anyway,
But
but no, it is a really nice design, and I liked the space station design too. It's very similar to another Matt Damon, Lost in Space movie, The Martian, which I always appreciated. I thought that was a cool design. Obviously, that came out afterwards, but
yeah, I was meaning to
seeing
ask
that
you, did
type of
you
space
watch that
station was
one?
cool. I did, and I liked that one a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah. If you didn't know, the book The Martian was written by the same guy who wrote the Project Hail Mary book.
Mm.
Um, what's his? I don't know why I'm blanking on the guy's name, but anyway, yeah. And I also thought it was kind of interesting how Matt Damon's spacesuit in this movie had orange accents to it.
Yeah,
And it was clearly to like distinguish from everyone else. Like that's the reason in the movie. But it's funny how like and 2 years later he'd go on to have a very similar looking suit
Yeah.
on.
This time instead of a snow planet, it's a desert planet.
Yeah, a red desert planet.
A red
uh,
desert planet.
I just thought that was
Yeah.
kind of funny. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, did you have any other anything else you wanted to get in there before we got into some trivia?
No, I'm all set. So before I start the trivia, I also did manage to find the budget and the box office for this. So this movie had $165 million budget, and it gained about $774 million for its box office, which is rather impressive. Um, but speaking of what we were talking about earlier with all the practicality, Christopher Nolan also actually grew all the corn for the cornfield scene. He grew over 500 acres of corn, and afterwards, he actually sold all the corn off and actually made a profit from that. So on top of all the money the movie made from its distribution, they actually made money growing the field practically rather than just CGIing the whole thing.
And I think I didn't want to talk about this earlier because I had a feeling that
Hmm.
this was going to be one of your fun facts. But on top of that, I feel like I remember hearing that that the specific location that they grew the crops in was they were basically told it would be next to impossible to grow corn there just because of the climate conditions, but it just kind of worked out. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I just think
Well,
that's
he
kind of
actually learned
interesting.
that from when he was involved with Man of Steel, and they grew like real corn for that too. So that's where he got the idea.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because that makes sense because he produced that one. Yeah, that makes sense. And that would have been a
Yeah.
year before this came out. So,
Yeah, it
okay,
would have been.
that's funny.
Another thing I saw too that was kind of fun. We were talking about 2001 earlier. Was like when the wormhole was put next to Saturn, it was directly referencing 2001 because Stanley Kubrick originally wanted the part of the movie where Hal goes crazy and to go intercept at Jupiter to take place on Saturn, which is similar to the novel the movie was based on. But they had to change it at the time just because the VFX wasn't there quite yet. So that's why it went to Jupiter instead of Saturn because they couldn't render the rings then.
Ah,
So they chose Saturn for this to pay homage.
that's funny.
Yeah.
It's almost like bragging. He's like, "Huh, I can." We were
Look
we
what
were
we can do
just
now.
well, we were kind of. It's funny because we were talking about this kind of just before we hit record, but I think we both agreed that while we both love 2001, for me it's like a top 20 all-time movie. Interstellar is better. It just is.
Yeah.
Um so I don't know. That's kind of funny. As
Yeah. Over the two, I would probably prefer Interstellar.
I think it's more rewatchable for sure. Um
That is true. Yeah. It is
t-
definitely more rewatchable.
like my thing is 2001 is more of like you have to go into it with the mindset of okay, this was made in the 60s, this was groundbreaking back then. It's like very important to cinema history because of that. And the story itself is, it's still engaging, but it's a very slow burn, partially because of the technical limitations at the time. Whereas with Interstellar, I feel like it's still a long movie, but I feel like it feels like it goes by faster, even though I think runtime wise
Yeah.
it's longer than 2001, but I could be wrong about that. I think for
Yeah.
whatever reason, I feel like 2001's like 2.5 hours. Let's see.
Yeah.
2001.
Well, I would also consider that. I mean, me personally, I think of those as two slightly different genres. I think 2001's more like a psychological drama, like just
Right.
set in space, while Interstellar is more of like a sci-fi, dare I say, action movie at certain points.
Almost like an adventure movie. It's a movie about
It's an
like
exploration movie.
exploration. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I just checked. 2001 is 2.5 hours. This is just under 3 hours, like 2:49. So
yeah,
I feel like despite it being like 20 minutes longer, I feel like it's more engaging, if that makes sense.
yes.
And
It
partially because of
definitely
that
is.
genre too that you just mentioned. Like
Yeah,
I feel like an exploration adventure movie is like
it just
assuming it's
leans
done
more
well.
into
Yeah.
yes. It just has more, like we were talking about, just more rewatchability.
Right,
To be completely frank.
right.
Although I will say this, I did mention this beforehand, but I need to rewatch it. But so far, of the space epics I have seen, I prefer this over 2001. But I really do like Project Hail Mary a lot. So I guess I'll have to see, in time when I rewatch both of these, which one will come out on top. But so far, both of these are A+ movies for me.
I I like Project Hail Mary is a 10 out of 10 for me, but my thing, I don't know. We don't actually like they never actually go to a planet. Or well, besides Rocky's planet at the very end. I guess
I was gonna say
spoilers. But
technically,
but like other than that, the whole thing just I get like skip 30 seconds I guess if you haven't seen the movie or read the book, but the whole
yeah.
thing just
But
takes
watch a
place
review.
or watch a review.
Yeah,
Um
watch our review.
but like the whole thing just takes place on like their ships, or the exterior
Yeah,
of their ships. They do get close to one that like blue planet that where they have to like what was it like breed the astrophage or whatever or get the
yeah. They go
no
to they go to Adrian.
Adrian, that's what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Adrian.
go to they're in the atmosphere. like but
Yeah, well,
whereas with this movie, we see very distinct planets. We see the water world, we see man's planet, we
yeah,
see at the very end, we see the planet Anne Hathaway gets stuck on. Um,
yeah,
whereas I don't know. I mean, there are other reasons too. They both have,
yeah,
they both rely heavily on practical effects. They both have a puppet in them. One is just a
yeah.
metal machine, and the other is a spider rock.
Just rock guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, one's rock, one's metal. Both
but
have great leading actors.
oh
I don't know.
yeah.
It must be for me. It's just a matter of preference, I suppose. But like I said, both are 10 out of 10s for me.
Well, I do want to revisit Hail Mary. It's on Prime Video right now, and it's coming to 4K Blu-ray on the 13th of August, I want to say. So like a little less than a month, and I'm definitely gonna buy that because I believe it will have the IMAX scenes on there, and I love that movie. So just having it on 4K would be nice. So I'll revisit it, but I mean,
Yeah.
even then, I don't see it coming anywhere. Despite them both being 10 out of 10s, I think Interstellar is just in a league of its own. It's just I don't know. It's that good for me.
Okay.
But anyway,
Gotcha.
I know
But
we got off
anyway,
on a bit of a
yeah,
tangent there. Was that it for fun facts or did
you're
you
good.
have anything
I
else?
just got one more.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, yeah. The last bit I managed to find was that the screenplay for the movie was actually based on the works of a theoretical physicist named Dr. Kemp Thorne, who described the script as being quote unquote based on warped space time with the most exotic events in the universe suddenly becoming accessible to humans, which I think speaks to the whole, I don't want to say twist, but the revelation at the end that the entities that created the black hole in the first place could be humans at some point in the future going back in time to save themselves.
Right. Like just highly
So,
highly advanced. Yeah.
yes.
I don't know. That's the thing I like about this movie so much. It's so like open ended, but it's also like very intelligent. I mean, Nolan was constantly consulting like scientists, and
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I feel like
And I will
maybe
say,
deGrasse Tyson was involved too. I don't.
yeah, from what I like, the one section where they describe the concept of like an Einstein-Rosen bridge and a black hole, for me, that's like the best metaphor I would go for to describe it, where you get the piece of paper and then you just punch a hole through it when you hold the two pieces together.
Right. I think
I
that's
think
the best
that's
visual way to
definitely the
show
most,
it.
yeah, that's the most accurate way to show it.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for trivia. And whenever you're ready, I'm all set to go into my initial review.
Yeah, me too. So, like I
Mhm.
said, I think I haven't landed it on my overall Nolan ranking yet because I still have to like kind of figure out where I'm firmly placing Odyssey. But if we're taking Odyssey out of the equation, this is easily like a it's definitely a top 3 Nolan movie up there with Dark Knight and Oppenheimer. And overall, like I said, it's one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I've seen it a million times, got to see it in 70 millimeter IMAX on the biggest screen in the country. It's just so good. Everything from the
Yeah.
cinematography, the direction, the acting, like I said, the score. I mean, this might be one of my favorite non-franchise scores ever. It's that good. Um, yeah, I can't conceive of giving it anything below a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5. So that's where I'm landing it. But yeah, I'll hand the baton on to you.
Okay. Like I said earlier, this is just a really fun and interesting movie to like to watch. And for the first time watching this for me, I was absolutely enthralled with the story. It's definitely a very captivating movie. And for me, as someone who has also seen, you've seen more of Nolan stuff than me, but I've seen a good chunk of his stuff. This would probably have to be in probably like top three or top four as well, from what I've seen. I do honestly prefer again, this could be recency bias, but I prefer Odyssey, and I actually prefer Inception over this. But overall, this is
Really?
still also just a 10 out of 10 film for me too.
I'm surprised. I thought you were lower on Inception for some reason. I thought you didn't like it that
No,
much.
I really liked Inception. I thought that overall, in terms of a story, I liked that a little bit more. But like I said, overall, I really did enjoy this movie. And actually, like I said, yeah, it's top three or top four, depending on where I'm going to place The Dark Knight for me, because that's another great Nolan movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that one for me was my top one, but I could see an argument for Odyssey. I need Odyssey to marinate a bit before I like
Yeah,
make that call.
yeah.
We're actually going to
Yeah, who
be
knows?
seeing
Maybe.
it on
Yeah,
Saturday again in 70 millimeter, so we'll
yeah.
see. But anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say, and who knows? Maybe we'll make a Christopher Nolan filmography ranking video at some point.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
But for now, I think that's where I'm gonna sit it as either top three or top four. But like I said, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. This is another great sci-fi epic that I think, and if you love sci-fi, if you love a compelling story, this is the movie. This is a great movie to put on.
Right. I feel like that's actually a good point. It's like as I kind of wind this down, it's very accessible in a way. Like obviously at face value, it's a sci-fi movie, hence the thumbnail. But at its core, it's really just a father-daughter story. Really, I mean that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's actually ironically, it's kind of based on the Odyssey in a way. It's about a
yeah,
man, you know, in this scenario, Cooper is like Odysseus kind of, and he's trying to get home
yeah.
to his daughter, Murph, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's another thing I forgot to mention too. The one thing I would maybe change is I would like to have him have a little bit more initiative to come back for Timothy Chalamet too.
Well,
I felt like overall he mainly like was really talking about coming back for Murph.
because he was already like kind of at peace with Timothy Chalamet. Like
Yeah,
the whole point was
but
Murph
still,
was like pissed at him and like that he never really got like a good goodbye with her,
like
whereas like
closure. Yeah.
and also he was able to spend less time with Murph. At least, you know, Timothy Chalamet was like basically graduating high school. So, whereas
I
Murph was
suppose, but
I don't know.
still, a little bit more for Timothy Chalamet would have been appreciated. Like he didn't even like in the end, he didn't even ask if he was still around.
Well, I mean,
Just,
I would think given the age difference that like if
I
Murph was
mean,
in that
yeah, but like
condition.
you'd still ask though. You'd still ask, just to see what happened with that. You know, you might want to know that answer, but
And also, he was living in that like dust storm for all those years. Like he probably didn't make it
yeah,
long after that. Like he probably didn't make it to Murph's
uh,
age. But
yeah,
I don't
well,
know. But
uh,
anyway,
but yeah, but anyway, yeah. So for
you want
us,
to
I think our
conclude it?
overall
Yeah,
review
go
for
for
this,
it.
yeah, I'll conclude it this time. So overall, we're giving this one a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. Thank you all for tuning in for this week's episode. Please remember to like and subscribe. And here's a little hint for next week's episode.
T Rex? You said you've got a T Rex?
Uh huh.
Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
All right. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.